Hey guys, this is another look at ZB. The bullish scenario that I was sort of tracking got wrecked today, and I can't even pretend that I saw this coming. I mean, to me, this was like out of nowhere, like a tsunami or a rogue wave. Um, the scenario I've been watching was that this is a 1 up and a 2 down, and a 1 up and an ABC 2 down, and then another 1 up, and I participated right there, and then it looked like three back into another two that was on the channel right here. And so I sold a bit up here and bought a bit back down here, and then we had what could even be another 1 2 with this wick right here. And so I did think that this was becoming absurdly bullish, right? We had 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. We're stacking up wave twos on the bottom of this channel. And when I moved my stop up below here, and when I logged off on Monday, I thought, well, it needs to go up in the overnight or this whole pattern is rubbish. And sure enough, it just rolled over. So everything in this channel was corrective. And I don't have a clean read on what this is. I don't. I've looked. I guess maybe a series of three wave moves up, but I just can't put a pin in it. But here is, in hindsight, what I think the tell might have been. So all week, it was a battle around this 149.18. First, they closed hourly bars in the overnight session up there. Then there was a battle, and they closed bars in the hourly bars in the New York session up there. And they got one daily close up there. But the last hourly bar of the week, right here, closed again on 149.18. They did not get the weekly close above there, which, as we know, is in some cases, like apparently now, all that matters. So if you want to know what the tell was, I think that was the tell. It was the weekly close over here. So, uh, so you know, accounting for this wave down and a new low, you have to go back on all the time frames and take a fresh look, which is what I've done. And I want to start here. This is the blow off top in bonds. And this structure is kind of a mess. And most of the technical analysts I follow were just viewing this as a simple three wave corrective structure of some kind. And here's what I think it is now. It's a 1 down, a 2 up, a 3 down, a 4 up, and then a 5 down. So that's a 1. And then there's an ABC into a 2. And then we have a 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up, and then 5 down. And so that is another 1. And then this big ABC that we see on the weekly chart is another 2. So this isn't one wave, it's a 1 2 1 2. And this becomes important. So what I realized looking on the weekly chart is I participated in this trade, and I think I was right, but for the wrong reasons. I was looking at this measured move coming off the apex of the triangle right there, and I was talking about uh, how price was intraday moving above the 618, but it wasn't closing up there, so that this was still a valid setup. And maybe how I was even trading the channel here, channel resistance. And I think I was right on this trade, but for the wrong reason. And so what I've realized going back and looking at this is that the bottom of this wave over here was 167.05, and that this was actually a lows to lows extension right here. We had this original move up here that came down and went through its 618 target with that move right there, and then it traded an extension. So the structure here is it would be not a 1 2, it would be a 1 2 1 2 3 4 3 4 into the lows to lows extension, and this is the fifth wave finally showing up coming off the extension. Right, so if you want to throw some numbers on there, this would be a 1 down and a 2 up, and then it'd be a 1 2 3 4 5. This would be the 3 down, this would be the 4 up, and now we're in a 5. This is it. I did a video a while back asking if this was all of wave 5 or one of 5. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one who was thinking that, because we saw the participation on the daily chart against a 1-4 overlap here with this wave 5 subdividing. So, but that is not the real structure. I think this is. And so what gives me confidence is this is you build your structure around the obvious pieces. Like this triangle across the channel is obviously a wave 4, high confidence. And a lows to lows extension is another obvious wave 4, high degree of confidence. And so then you work and you fill in the pieces around that. Like if that's a 4 and that's a 4, then this is obviously a 5 at this degree of trend. And this is obviously a 5 coming down now. So I hope that's clear. This beginning here had an extra 1 2 that needs to be unloaded on the back end here. And I've experienced this where a trend is nearing what you think is the end, and you get another wave seemingly out of nowhere. Well, it was sort of implied in the structure all the way back at the beginning of the cycle. So, if we go back to the time frames, let me think about this. There's the most immediately bearish scenario is that this fifth wave down is going to extend, right? It has a 618 target that lines up pretty nicely with the bottom of the purple channel, and that this was now 1 of 5 down and we're working on a 2, right? There's no way that this can be a 4 in relation to the 1 in the red line. All of that has been sort of tossed out simply by us making a new low here. And so, we can, well, I'll leave it on there just to see, but that scenario is defunct. So, are we in a wave 2 or are we in a wave 3 of 5? That's the question. And the way to answer that is, if we go to the hourly chart now, this, whatever it was obviously corrective. We now know that. And this looks like a 1 down and a ABC 2 up. I would have never, in real time at the time, imagined that was a corrective move. Right? I looked at this wave down on the tick chart. I participated. I was short through that most of that wave, and it traded a lows to lows extension 3 times. But apparently the wave ended here and it was an ABC up. So it's a 1 down and then a 2 up, and then this is obviously a 3 down. If we get a 4, ideally off of this lows to lows extension like we were talking about on the weekly chart, and then a 5 down, then that's a 5 wave structure, and there's another leg down coming, incredible as that seems. If, however, this corrective mess is followed by a 3 wave structure, then this could turn into a big flat correction, right? It could still be a wave 2. This could be a 1 down. I'm over here on the weekly chart, and we could go sideways on a wave 2, and we could even go back and make a marginal new high up here, and before going down in a 3 of 5. Sort of the least likely scenario is that this is a 4 and 5 that belongs to this wave right here. I mean, I looked at this wave pretty closely, and it looked complete, and then we broke out of the channel. But now I'm sort of half wondering if this structure was incomplete and there's like I just counted it wrong, right? Like we're still just part of this wave, in which case this could turn into 5 waves and make a new low at any point here and then turn around, and this would just be all of wave 5. But I don't like that for different reasons. It's just not impossible, I guess. So my new understanding now is this is a wave 5. I mean, just sort of arriving at that conclusion and seeing the lows to lows extension helps bring some clarity to all of this. And it certainly seems like this 5th wave wants to extend to the bottom of the channel. And we could be, if this was a complete wave 2, we could now be in a wave 3 of this 5. And then we'll have a choppy mess down here in a little 5th wave. So let me think. Is that everything I wanted to talk about? Yeah, it's funny because I felt like I had been dialed in with ZB and making some great trades, and the fact that this was an extension short and I was right for the wrong reasons, and then I even made money off of this trade, and again, right for the wrong reasons. It's kind of hilarious when I think about it. And I just got schooled today, so yeah, that's the best I can do now. This is a wave 5 down. We're either going to have a sideways wave 2 correction. This will stay 3 waves and we'll come to the top of the range, or we'll just continue straight from here. Who knows? And so if we do rally further up, we will have to watch this lows to lows extension again. We'll have to redraw it to whatever the new low is, because I think that extension might be the most important resistance. So there would be resistance across whatever wave there is, and then there would be the weekly lows to lows extension short to watch. Okay, that's all. Thanks, guys.